quite nice and pleasant when they speak about copyright using the term allege or allegedly. And a damn thing allegedly with me. Straight up. You stole my work, I'm gonna say you stole it. You come in my backyard, you steal my car, and I look out the back door and I see you driving out. I'm not coming out and saying to you guys, he allegedly stole my car. That Negro stole my car. Eddie Murphy stole my work. He stole my work. Now the judge and the lawyers, I don't care what they say. I really, really don't. Most people do. I don't respect titles, I respect people. And the people who have those titles, if they deserve my respect, then I will respect the people and therefore the title. So judges, lawyers, presidents, politicians, pastors, all that stuff, you gotta show me respect. And then I will respect you. Otherwise, you're just a silhouette. And I'm an ex-Green Beret soldier, so some of my military buddies in here, they know what we do with silhouettes. There's no face, no name, nothing. And so, Eddie Murphy stole my plays, outrageous stage play comedy called No Harm, No Foul. And then later, he took some other expressions from another stage play called Bronx House, and he combined them and made that mega movie hit Life. And one of the funniest movies ever, really. If you've seen that movie, that is one of the funniest movies around. And when I wrote it for that. I sat down and wrote, I said, I'm going to write one of the funniest movies in the world. And I'm going to make sure that there is a laugh every minute. So a 90-minute play. And so there's a laugh every minute. And if you've seen that movie, you know it is a very funny movie. But ain't nothing funny about them stealing it from me. And I've been fighting them for a long time. The movie came out in 1999. I gave them my script. And I sued them in 2002. And I'm still fighting. And I'm going to continue to fight. And I don't care who I have to fight. So to show you the passion and how serious I am about my work, if I die and go to hell, I'll be waiting at the gate for those guys. And I'll put my foot in their ass again. And if the devil decides he wants to get in it, I promise you, I will run him out of hell. He will run by you saying, y'all better go because that Negro is crazy. And that's how serious I am about my work, because I paid, the price I paid is so much to get to where I am, to be here today. And as Carla touched on earlier, it's not about me. I can write anything. I can look at any of you and watch you for 2 or 3 hours and watch your talk and mannerism, and I can write a movie, play, radio show, anything I want, as long as I want, just based on that. I have that gift. So stealing the work is not an issue. What you did was, and even giving me the credit, I could care less about the credit. Give me the cash. That way I don't have Uncle Billy Bob and all of them talking about break me off something. I heard they gave you a check. You know, I can remain in anonymity and take care of the family. So I don't need the credit. But what I do need is the ability to take care of my family, my friends, and help everybody else who I can, who is not as fortunate as I am. Because I really personally, like Carla, I don't need anything. I don't need absolutely nothing from anybody. Very fortunate. And but that doesn't mean you can come in and just take. You know. And how much is enough? That movie came out and it led the box office that week with about $25 million. $25 million back in 1999 is equivalent today probably 70 or 80 million. And then since that time, it's probably grossed over $200 million with subsidiary rights and all that stuff. So basically, this is happening way too much. And more often than what you think. And I wrote a book called Why I Sued Eddie Murphy. And BET, recently, they wrote a little attack on me on one of the celebrity online pages, and they had put a picture of Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, all of them, and nice little blurbs about them. They didn't put a picture of me, but they ripped me. So naturally, being the nice guy I am, I ripped them back. I went off, and I told BET, you know, BET stands for Buffoonery Entertainment Television instead of Black Entertainment Television. Wow. And rather than running around here trying to protect these thieves, you need to be out in the community paying these artists for real creativity. And I went farther than that. I found out they were owned by Viacom, and I went after Viacom. Because none of them own me. Nobody owned me. Spent 10 years in the military. So I earned the right to walk anywhere I want, do anything I want in this country. I don't believe in turning the other cheek. So if you throw a rock at me, roll it back, I'll break. No, I'll break what's coming out. And that's just me. And I look very nice and calm, and I am all of that. But on the other side, just bear in mind, if you want to fight, you got the right guy. But back to this thing here. It happens too often. And I get calls from around the country. And I know copyright infringement as it pertains to dramatic work about as good as anybody on this planet. I've been barred. They've written motions to bar me in 2 courts out in California. I don't even live in California. But other artists called me and asked for help. And I said, okay, I'll come out. You know, tell the wife, pack the bags, we're going to California. For what? Well, we're going to help somebody and we're going to have some fun. All right? We'll help them for a day or two, then we'll have a good time. But they write the motions to bar me. Court is public. Anybody can go. But the fear of me. So when they say, well, you know they're afraid of you. And my response is, well, what did they do to me for them to be afraid of me? You've done nothing to me, you have no reason to fear me. So, but when a guy calls me, or a girl, and say, listen, you know, they stole my work, I sued them, I lost all my money, we lost our home, I have a 7-year-old boy, I have no money, he cannot eat. I don't know this person. And he said, I went around the corner to the pizza parlor and I asked the man if he could let me have a pizza and I would pay him when I get the money so I could feed my child. And the pizza man gives him 2 pies, and his little 7-year-old boy eats one by himself. What are you going to do? What are you doing? You know. So I can say, well, I'm good, and turn my back, but then I can't sleep for that. And the last thing I'm going to say in closing is, they steal your work, and you really don't have a lot of option. First, they try to intimidate you, which you can intimidate other folks, but coming right down my alley. They train me, and that's probably what I do best. Come on, let's have some fun. They can't intimidate you, then they try to buy your lawyer, which happens to me, happened to Carla, and every other one of us. The judge even caught my second lawyer and told her not to ever come back to New York. Ran her out. And they pulled that judge off the case and put the good old boy on there. And he did his thing and threw the case out. And then they try to intimidate you with these sanctions, these hundreds of thousands of dollars they're gonna sanction you with if you don't drop the case. So I didn't drop mine, so they said, well, let's say we're gonna slap you with $40,000 sanction. I said, good. You can slap me with 40 zillion, I'm not gonna stop. So they slapped me with the $40,000, and I'm still fighting. And I'm not gonna stop fighting. So when you hear, guys, of an artist out here, independent artists like us, independent artists, we don't have representation, we don't belong to any union, we don't belong to Hollywood, we're just creative. Like my man here just took some classical song and just infused it in with hip hop and rap. That's not something somebody teach you. Somebody gave you that special ability, and that's what happens with all of us. We can just do it. It don't take no effort. I wrote a book called 48 Poems. I wrote the book in about 4 or 5 weeks. I just sat down and wrote 5 or 6 poems a day. Wow, how did I do it? But people cannot do that ordinarily, and so what they do is they have the money and the connection, so they take your work and they pick out of it what they want, and then throw out the carcass, and then your work come out and they call it their own. Okay? So So when you see or hear of an independent artist out there saying they sued us, they're suing somebody, don't take that what most people do. Oh, it's just somebody trying to get over. Because that's what somebody said when BET came after me. And then I looked on the post and there was Carla had come over there. They said, oh, he's probably somebody trying to get over. Carla wrote a book. And we shut that post down. We shut it down. So want to thank you guys. You can sit back and watch this, and it pretty much, I'll be watching with you for the first time also, but it'll pretty much explain, you know, self-explanatory. So thanks guys for listening.